Well, hello and welcome, people of the internet, to Defenders of the Omniverse, a new arena shooter bullet heaven that is coming out on August 26th, so you can check that out yourself. Then, this is a really cool, like, 80s kind of vintage comic book style mixed with some of the new style. It kind of has the same graphic style as, like, the new He-Man, but it kind of has all the lore of the previous He-Man, Thundercats, like that era cartoons. Really cool theme. Basically, we're going to be, well, defending the Omniverse. We're going to have all different types of heroes, different enemies. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. Want to give a quick shout out, though, to Babushka Entertainment before we start here. They were kind enough to send over a key so we could check out this game early, so thank you very much, guys. Very much appreciated. Now let's go ahead and jump into the game. So they have unlocked 5 of the heroes for us, that way we can try them out. I'm not sure which ones will be locked and which ones will be unlocked when you try the game for yourself, but I'm going to start here with Talyn, I think is how it's pronounced. I played a little bit. Basically, I've played one run with Sasha and one run with Talyn, and I think so far Talyn, actually, so maybe I should try it now. We're going to go with Talyn, because then I know a little bit about what's going on and kind of can talk about what's going on. That being said, it is a bullet heaven, so we do have the, the Slay the Spire style map, and we can see every area that we're going to have to clear. It looks like, what was that, 3 areas or 4? 3 areas. All right. And we have our key on the side here that we can go. If we're all the way up to the top, if you want to come back, hit the little pin button. It's going to drop you back wherever your character is. We're going to have regular fights, tough fights, mini bosses, survive, destroy statues, merchants, and loot goblins. So let's go ahead and start here on the first wave. All of the arenas that I've seen so far are all defeat enemies. Obviously, there is the survive one. Yeah, it's pretty much all defeat X number of enemies. There is a percentage meter down on the bottom right, that shows, how many enemies we have left to kill. Other than that, we have dashes, our health bars above. We have 3 dashes to start, and we need to reach level 5 in order to get our first weapon drop. And so we have a level up system, just like we've seen in a bunch of bullet heavens before. I think we're going to go here with cooldown. I want to be shooting out as many bullets as we can, or basically light bullets. So basically, Talyn here has this ability that he shoots out a little blast of light, and it bounces between enemies, as you can see here. We also have an ultimate. Every character has their own ultimate. Ours, I'm just going to pop it here. We get a shield, makes us invulnerable, and we can just plow right through enemies. Obviously, we're scooting around on a little, like, hoverboard here. A little bit of Back to the Future. We can increase our drop pickup range. I'm just going to take more damage. Why not? 200% damage. Sounds good to me. Now, one thing that in this version of the build, this likely, well, this isn't going to be a thing when you guys pick up the game, but just I'm trying to explain a little bit of pretext of my future thought. I've noticed that there's a lot of legendary drops and like rare drops. When you open this game in this version of the game, because it's a early look, the developer said that, let's see, I'm going to take this one, that they've unlocked some of the characters so that we can try them out, but they've also, there was a menu for like a cheat, not a cheat version, but you could unlock some of the meta progression faster, just so that way you could, progress the game faster, so that basically for content creators to see and show off upgraded builds. Now, I couldn't find that menu, so I'm wondering if they've increased certain rarities. Because I've noticed that, like, for things that are legendary, I've gotten several already, and I've only been very early on in the game. So I don't know if that's affected. Just take that with a grain of salt. So we are level 5, so we're picking our next weapon. We can take a phoenix egg, which basically makes, it's not really a phoenix. It's literally an egg. It just kind of spirals around us. We have Alpha Deck, throws out razor sharp cards in diagonal directions. A little bit of misspelling there. And then Magma Hammer. This basically just has a hammer fall from the sky and hit an area. I think here I'm going to take the Alpha Deck. I tried Phoenix Egg and wasn't a big fan of it, so I'm going to take the projectile since we are a projectile-based class. The Phoenix Egg is a little bit more for melee units. After we finish each run, you'll see that there's a magnet that kind of pulls in the experience, and then we just have to get to the portal, and we're going to zip right up. All right, so might as well, let's see, if we do this, we have a hard fight. We could do that. I don't think I'm going to take on maybe I take on the mini boss. I don't know. Let's check it out. I say that for a reason, and I'm going to kind of hold that off until maybe a little bit later, because I have fought the first boss, and I have thoughts, but, you know, I don't want to drop those thoughts too early on. Let's take a look at the gameplay here first. Now, we do have a mini-map that's going to show all the different chests that we can pick things up. Blue chests are going to give us these blue crystals up here in the top right. Those are going to be used for merchants during your runs. There's also the yellow, oh, what is it? It's like core currency or something. This yellow card-looking thing right here. That is going to be used for meta progression. And then we have skulls. I think that is just our kill count. I don't think it has anything to do with progression of any kind. We have increased range here. We could go increase projectile speed, which I don't think. I'm just going to take cooldown here, make it so that we attack more. And we're just going to continue skating around. We have different cardinal chests. So, yeah, there were the blue chests. Those give that currency. There are yellow chests. I think this is a red chest. Yeah, red chest gives us that currency. Brown chests... Is that technically the same thing as a red chest? Let me take a look here. I think it is. Yeah, so brown and red are kind of... The chest itself looks red, but on the minimap, it's brown. We also have blue, so I'm going to go ahead and pick up this currency. And we have another one over here. Green is health, and it's little first aid soda cans. So as we're going to want to make sure that we collect all of those for quicker progression, of course. Making our way through. 89% of enemies defeated. Oh, wait. How did I walked straight past that box. Okay. Let's go ahead and take these guys out a little bit quicker. Epic. Do we go for Pierce? I don't know how Pierce necessarily works with our... Because we already have Bounce. I guess we'll take it. It's epic. Why not? There we go. Victory. We get our little magnet. Pull everything in. Probably at a reduced rate. All right. Here. Yeah. We're going to go... Yeah, we're going to go up this way. So there's a regular fight. One thing that is a little bit... I'm not a big fan of is... Well... Not the controls themselves. I was going to say the controls. No, the controls are totally fine. But when you come out or enter any... So if you enter an area or after you get a level up and you come back into gameplay, I don't know the technical... How to phrase this technically, but if you're still holding a directional button, like to move, the game doesn't recognize that you're trying to move again until you reselect the button. So like right here... I think I'm just going to take, it's legendary, so I'm going to take it. So right now, if I'm holding, I'm going to get smacked here, but I'm holding W to try and move up. If I click this and come back into the game, it doesn't recognize that I'm moving. I wish that it did. There's a lot, I mean, most games do that, and it just makes movement. Yeah, I took a lot of damage there. Probably shouldn't have done that. That's okay. We got a couple health packs over here, which we can take that would otherwise be useless to us. It just kind of helps the gameplay be a little bit more smooth, and smoothness is definitely something that I think can be improved. So there's a couple things, like I'm not sure why. So this bar up here is the character's experience. I'm stuck on a rock here, even though there was nothing really around me. So all the character stats are down in the lower left, and I'm not quite sure why they decided to put the character experience at the top in the middle and not just put it down below where everything else is. Even if you put it in the bottom middle of the screen, that would seem like a slightly better position, since again there's nothing else that's really up here that you need to keep track of. Like, you don't need to keep track of these stats. You do have your health down here. Now obviously that's over your character, but if you want to take a look at your cooldowns, those are all down here. This is your ultimate cooldown, your level, all that kind of stuff is already down here. The mini map is down here, so everything that you need to keep track of is down here. So maybe they were worried about it being too cluttered. But I don't know. I feel like that the experience bar should maybe just be down here somewhere. Let's definitely go for damage on the alpha deck. That's for sure needed. Although it is kind of, this weapon is a little bit tough to actually aim at enemies. So I don't know. Definitely going to want to keep our eye out for those green chests. That's for sure. Unfortunately, the demonstration, at least I can blame it on the demonstration, right? At least I can say, yeah, the reason I took so much damage, I was just demonstrating a point, not because I suck. But you know what? It is what it is. It is what it is. Let's keep on collecting. Alrighty, 9% to go, 8% to go. Hopefully it's just these last couple guys here. Yeah, once you get down to these last couple, it kind of goes a lot slower, probably depending on the character you have. Right, our cooldowns are a little bit slower, probably because they like auto-target enemies. There is auto-shooting, if I didn't mention that before. Increases pickup for Omni credits. Nah, I don't really care about that. Let's just take the cooldown. There is auto-shooting, if I didn't mention that already. You do have to target, but it does shoot automatically. Yeah, I'm a little worried about this harder fight now that our health is a little bit lower. We do have our invulnerability shield, and we also do have... Oh boy, yep, they're coming at me fast. Hopefully we can get this health. I might have to pop this invulnerability here. Yeah, I'm just going to pop this, just run through some enemies here, clear them out before we get too surrounded. Take out all the tougher enemies. All right, come on. Kite him around the rock. Oh, we got another heal that I can go get. I'm going to collect this shard up here first. Ow. Oh, that was dangerous. That was dangerous. Should not have done that. Definitely should not have done that. Yeah, these cards are like, they're kind of difficult to shoot, you know. Typically, you see like a perpendicular pattern, so it's at least shooting right behind you. But with it being diagonal, it's not necessarily going where you want it to. I think I'm just going to take the range. No, let's take the strength. Let's just go for more damage. Make sure we're just killing things. Like, if they do get hit, I want to make sure that they die. Another thing, too, I do think that the progression of weapons is a little slow. I do understand what they're doing. They basically, as far as I understand what's going on, is they don't want you to unlock too many weapons too quickly, likely so that way you can work on building 2 weapons before building into a third. But we're only halfway to our 3rd weapon, and it feels a little slow. Hopefully that can help us out there. An additional projectile. It just feels a little slow. I think the tiers should maybe drop down a bit more. I guess let's do this. Let's just try the mini boss. I might die, but even if I die, that'll give me a chance to try more characters and show you guys what the different characters look like. I have not done a mini boss fight yet, so I don't really know what to expect. Yeah, it doesn't look like... So it doesn't look like the angle of those projectiles increased any. It's the same... It's the same... you know, it's the same spread. Just multiple shots. I do like that there's a little, like, Bifrost effect that comes down. Cog the Peckish. Alright, let's see if we can take him out. I might have to give the commentary that I was going to give if we got to a boss here, but we will see. Okay, let's grab the magnet, pull everything in. Let's go ahead and... Yeah, I think the same thing is going to happen here. I'm going to grab the legendary damage. I think bosses in this game have way too much health. So when I fought the first boss before, I was using the same character, fought the boss, and I was fighting the boss for maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes, and I didn't even get him to quarter health. So I'm hoping that we can get to the first boss, so that way I can show you guys exactly what the fight is like. But I thought it's one of those things where it's hard to tell. With the introduction of meta progression into a lot of these games, it can be hard to tell if the game is basically telling you, hey, you suck, you need to, it's like either, hey, you suck because you suck, or you suck because you haven't invested enough into meta progression. And that's kind of one of the downsides to meta progression is it's hard to tell what the game is trying to tell you. When you don't have meta progression, the game's difficulty is the difficulty, right? It's just one thing, it's one setting, and the developers can go ahead and balance it for that thing. But with all the meta progression, you know, someone might, instead of going for full-on damage, they might go for cooldown, and it might take them a lot longer to actually take out a boss. Like this boss right here is pretty mechanically very straightforward. We're just dodging, you know, his dash ability, which really isn't that challenging. He did eventually go down much easier once he was just, you know, once he was alone. But for the most part, he was just kind of a damage sponge, seemed like. How does this work? Do we just get all these rewards? Increases health regen, increases max health, and increases weapon size, and 145? Oh, I guess we just get them. Okay, sweet. So mini bosses might actually be worth it in the end. All right, now unfortunately, unfortunately we got a tough road ahead of us. We got two tough fights, but then we do have a merchant and we do have the boss, so we should be able to get there no problem. I say that. Knock on wood for me though. All right, we Bifrost in. And let's get it going. Oh, okay. Yeah, we got these robot machines here that are going to shoot a little bit of AoE around that we got to dodge. All right, let's make our way around, pick up some of this currency. Do I want more health? No, let's just get experience gain. Because, I mean, you can see we're 3/4 of the way to a third weapon. I don't know. For me, I think around this point we should be getting... It's tough to say, right? It's tough to say. I don't know why it feels slow, because there are other games that do this, like, very similar, you know, timing. I think by the time we get to the boss, we will probably be close. I don't think we will have a third weapon, but I think we'll be maybe a level or two away. I'm kind of thinking... I'm trying to compare to, like I've been playing a lot of Deep Rock Galactic Survivor recently, and in that game, it's very similar numbers. You have one less weapon, of course. Oh boy, we need to find some health packs. But you have 5 maps in this game versus you have the 3 zones here. Okay, we did grab a magnet. There was some health stuff there. But the weapons themselves don't feel... Drop pickup range. No, I think I'm just going to go with strength. The weapons themselves, I've only tried a few of them, but some of the weapons don't have as much impact as I would like. I guess the way to put it is they feel like they're actually, except for your main attack that you have here, they feel a little bit difficult to actually hit the enemies. So for example, we have our cards here that are only shooting in diagonal. This is probably one of the easier ones that I've used to actually, you know, get damage where you want it. I tried the Phoenix Egg. That one might actually be the easiest, but like I said, they basically circle very close to you, so you always have to be near enemies and kind of basically just run yourself into enemies in order to actually hit them with it. The other one, the Magma Hammer, it's on a pretty slow cooldown. It's like a 5-second cooldown, and the range is about this size. It's actually that size. And so but it sticks around and it burns any enemies that go through it. But it's just, it feels a little too slow paced. And it's hard to explain without actually showing it off. I'm just going to collect some stuff here while there's only one enemy. No reason not to farm a little bit, right? Because we're going to hit a shop, and I'm going to need to spend my currency to buy some stuff before the boss. There we go. All right, let's clear out, collect up, move on. One more fight. Ah, that was my bad. That was my bad. It's alright. We'll be able to heal up here. Right. Let's make our way around. Actually, I'm going to pop this now because then it should charge back up by the time we're into the boss run, and I should have my invulnerability back up. Right now, I'm just going to use it to my advantage, get as many kills as I can with it. I would love to get more bounces, though, on my weapon. The thing is that this weapon is not... It's good in AoE situations, but it's not very good against the boss. So I'm not exactly sure how we're going to fare against the first boss if we're able to get there. Which, again, like I said, we shouldn't have a problem getting there. Really haven't had a trouble with this build. I did try with Sasha, and I had a little bit of trouble with her. We have the amount... You know, I think I might have to do this because I think that's how we're going to have to try and beat the boss, is just by hitting it with the diagonal attacks. So basically, in order to get them to follow me, I'm going to have to move in a, you know, 2, 4, 8, and 10 movements. Okay, nice. Love that the magnet pulls in everything, not just experience. So if you have health on the ground, it also pulls that. That's really nice. Yeah, see, now we're down to the last little bits. I kind of wish... And this might just be kind of biased because I've been playing a lot of Rogue Genesia. I kind of wish that it didn't just stop spawning enemies when you were getting close to the end, and that it kept spawning a lot, because we're getting down to these last couple chunks, and if you have weapons that are good in AoE situations but bad at single targets, kind of like what we have here, this part is just kind of, it slows down the pace of the game and doesn't feel all that great. If you just kept spawning a bunch of enemies, it would allow me to progress. Here we go. We'll pick 1 out of 3 weapon attacks. It would just keep the progression speed of the game and keep it flowing faster. These Bullet Heavens are fast-paced games, man. So you just got to make it so that player always has stuff going on. So let's go ahead and jump into this merchant here. Check it out. Definitely going to take the damage. I'm definitely going to need that. Movement speed is reasonable. I think I'm going to take the cooldown, though. I'm also going to take... What else am I going to take? Oh, movement speed was way too expensive. Yeah, no way I was going to do that. Okay, let's refresh. It's only a single coin. Range, maybe. No, I'm going to go with damage here for sure. Let's go with overall strength, I think. And then if I can, yeah, I'll take the range. Okay, that's fine. Let's move on. All right, the boss. Let's see if I can do better than I mentioned I did before. We shall see. Kind of gross looking bug dude there. Alright, so basically he's going to jump up and do these AoE slams. He's going to do a couple of them where we can't really hit him. And then he's going to summon these little skull boys on the ground. And they're going to shoot out projectiles. And I'm going to be honest, they are a little bit annoying. The projectiles themselves aren't highlighted in any way. So for me, at least, they're kind of hard to see. He also does this, like, little wave attack. You can see here, these, like, I don't know if they're supposed to be bees or what, but they're kind of difficult to see, and you got to take them out, because if you don't, they're just going to keep spawning, and they're just going to keep dealing damage to you. So, you know, by the time that I was done actually dealing with them, he's back to doing this jump attack, and now I can't really work on him at all. Now that he's down, I can work on him. I'm just going to kind of sit here as I wait for my cards to shoot out. All right, so he's actually at a you know, quarter health down, which is actually, you know, better than I did last time. All right, so I got to work on taking these things out again. They just move so fast. And unfortunately, like your health chests that you've kind of been getting used to don't spawn. So that is kind of rough. There's no way to recover health. I'm going to go ahead and try and invulnerable this guy up a little bit, get a little bit of damage. He is half He is down to half. Hopefully we can get, maybe if I stick it up his butt, I can hit him with 2x, but now I got these little bug things I got to deal with. Oh, great. Now we got enemies I got to deal with too. Okay, well, he's almost dead. He's coming back down. Let's go. We got another one over here to deal with. Jump out of there. Nope, we're good, we're good, we're good. Man, I would sure love a health chest at this point. Unfortunately, I gotta hide over here for a minute until I can take these things out. Now he's back up again. Yeah, I can't target him up there. Like, it's hard to see the projectiles. I didn't even know until after there were projectiles there. But yeah, so that's the first boss. Yeah, it's a weird thing, right? Because it would be one thing if he was doing the, like, if he's doing the jump while those totems are up, but it seems to me he was kind of like jumping up after I took care of the totems, and then I couldn't really focus in on him. But yeah, let's go ahead and try it again with a different character here. The Sasha is a little, I was gonna do Sasha, but she's a little simple. Basically, she's just a sword wielder. She just does slashes. Let's do someone that is very, so Phren maybe. Have no idea what this character does. Agent of Mind. Every enemy hit with Psyblast sees unfathomable nightmares that deal damage to their mind for several seconds. Okay, so we do a little bit of damage over time. And then his ultimate, he creates a miniature psychic black hole that pulls enemy to it with unrelenting force. After a few seconds, it explodes. Ooh, let's try this out. Let's give this a shot. This seems interesting. This is different than we've seen from a lot of games, at least in terms of style. So you have mind beams, huh? Oh, okay. So you're like a Cyclops character. Gotcha. It looks like he's shooting him out of his... Maybe it's just because he's an agent. He's holding his finger up to his face, but it looks kind of like he might be shooting him out of his mind. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pop this ult just so we can see it a little bit. Projectile speed? No, I kind of want more range. His range kind of isn't all that great. Let's go ahead and pop this and see what happens. So one thing that just happened there that I noticed the same thing was happening with Sasha, and I'm also not a big fan of in this. Yeah, I'm going to take the range here. In this style of game is that when you use your ultimate, he stopped moving. In these games, movement is very important, and you could make the argument that, hey, you should just be planning out your movement better so, you know, you don't ultimate when you're in the middle of a group. But sometimes you just get caught up in the middle of a big group of enemies, and you want to use a last-minute ultimate, and if you do, they're just going to come in and completely swarm you. So I feel like you should be able to keep your movement up while you're ultimating. The same thing happens with Sasha. Now, with Sasha, her ultimate creates a... basically a circle that slows enemies, and after it charges up for 3 seconds will explode, hitting all enemies in the range. I think I'm going to take the... Maybe I just take the duration. I don't know how is duration affecting range, or is it affecting the duration of the damage over time? Not sure. Maybe I'll just take cooldown here. That might just be a little bit safer to take. Now, she gets an armor increase when she uses it, but she also can't move while she's ultimating. So that's 3 seconds that if you want to pop it right when enemies show up on you, you're going to be a little unfortunate here. Place mushrooms that explode in contact with enemy. A swarm tiny bitty spiders surrounds here, dealing damage to all nearby enemies. All right, let's try the nano spiders. Let's see how these work out. It seems like it should be itty bitty, or yeah, but okay. Let's just go ahead and go to the right here. Yeah, so like here, I was still holding W before the match actually started, but I have to kind of re-press it to move. Feels like it should probably... Wait, these are spiders? Okay, that is not what I thought it was going to be. I thought they were going to be actual spiders, but this is just a, this is garlic. We have garlic. Alright, let's go ahead and grab some of this meta currency. That might be a nice thing to pick up here. Very nice. Yeah, so basically we picked up a second, I guess, kind of working on another, yeah, nano, I guess it makes sense, they're nano spiders, but, projectile speed, I guess we just, that's such a small change in cooldown, that almost doesn't even seem worth it. I'll just take projectile speed. So, like in the last run, we didn't even get a third weapon slot, you know, and in this one, we're basically, if we're using the same kind of progression speed as last time, these are the only two weapons we're going to get on this at least first section of the run. And, you know, as you noticed in the last boss, you know, he's going to be jumping around. I don't know if this weapon is really going to help us all out all that much, but at this point, there's nothing we can really do to change that because we're just kind of stuck with this weapon. Now, of course, if you know what the weapons are, obviously that's going to completely change. I figured the spiders were going to kind of be a summon that would kind of move around and target enemies themselves, but we just kind of have to stay close. And unfortunately, I think this is supposed to be more of a ranged enemy. Oh boy, I need to find some healing here. There we go. Go ahead and find a little bit more stuck on those rocks. Let's go. Yeah, let's definitely increase the... no, I gotta increase the damage. It's a little bit too weak. I keep walking into these massive shotgun blasts, though. That's not helping out my case any. Alright, what do we got? We got one more enemy that I have to wander around and find at some point. He's got to be down here. Maybe I'm walking away from him. Okay, one slow guy. Yeah, see, like, I get what they're going for, but again, it's like, just have the enemies keep coming at me until I hit that percentage. Just keep the gameplay, just... keep it going. Nice and fast. Nice and fast. Let's go for range here. Definitely want a little bit more range. Let's make our way up and out. And we got a survival one this time. What is the survival time? Probably like a minute and a half, I'm guessing. 2:15. Okay, that seems a little bit long. Not gonna lie. Not that it's going to be hard, just, again, it's just kind of slowing the game down, I feel like, especially at the beginning here where, you know, we don't really have a build going. It's one thing to do this when you actually have, well, let me hold that thought, because when you have a build going, it doesn't really become challenging to do at all. But, yeah, when we're only at, you know, these two weapons and they're not really very strong, sure, it's going to be, well, okay, we just literally ran into an explosive and died. Here I am, like, it's not going to be that hard, and then I just kill myself. Okay, that gives us a chance to try another character, though. So we got that. Let's go ahead and try this. Actually, you know what? Let's try the frog, the ninja frog. Every shuriken has 10% chance to return to Peru'gino. Instead of just disappearing, shurikens deal 2 times more damage on their way back. Gets a boost of speed, throws all shurikens at once. They hover, dealing damage, and then return. And he has a little bit of health regen. Alright, so let's give him a shot. Let's see how it goes. But I feel like the survival wave also had way more enemies than the... than these just, like, regular fights. Okay, let's give this a shot. Ooh, do they bounce? Yeah, they bounce. Okay, cool. So this is basically just another version of the Talyn character that we played before. He is doing the ninja run. That is important, though. He does have his fingers held up. Otherwise, you wouldn't know he's a ninja. Let's go ahead and do... You already have a little bit of health regen, but I think I'm going to take a little bit more. I mean, it is double health regen, right? That does technically count. Although, maybe duration might have been... Okay, the fact that chests don't break on one hit is a little... maybe should not be the case. Yeah, duration might help out, so that way they bounce a little bit more. I'm not sure if this is scaling off of, or if the bounce is like... Ah, there we go. There's a little bit of return there. I'm not sure if there's a limited amount of bounces, or it's based off of duration. Go ahead and use our alt. Oh my goodness. Okay, that was powerful. Jeez. Yeah, let's definitely do 2 shuriken for sure. All right, and we get more speed. Yeah, okay, that was easily the best alt of all the ones we've done so far, for sure. Let's go more damage. Actually, maybe I should have gone projectile speed so that maybe they could bounce between, and when they return a little bit faster. So I do not want to do nano spiders. I also don't want to do magma hammer, which I guess leaves us with plasma gun. Let's give this one a shot. See how that works out. Don't really want to go to survival either, just because it's a long time. I want to be bouncing between maps here. Yeah, there were definitely a lot more enemies in the survival wave than there are in the kill wave, which, you know, again, kind of it's another way to extend gameplay, but it also kind of slows down gameplay, right? You would expect that if you're trying to kill a bunch of enemies, well, send a bunch of enemies at me, versus survive, which is just send as many enemies as you can at me. I get it, sure, it makes it harder, but since there's no progression based on how many enemies you kill, do I want to take... I mean, that's so much damage. Might as well take it. Okay, we got to grab that health there. I'm not even seeing... Where is our plasma gun? Oh, there it is. Okay, it's kind of hard to see, honestly. It shoots out really fast. Yeah, right there. Alright, at this point, I'm just collecting up these boxes here as I run around. Wow, our ultimate has a long cooldown, though. It's still on cooldown. There we go. Collect up. Let's go for Durate. We could go for Pierce. Yeah, it's legendary. You know, like I said before, it seems like the legendaries are turning up a little bit more often than I would think would be the case. The fact that I've already seen a couple kind of hints at that. Definitely going to hold on to this ultimate, because the ultimate is actually worthwhile. It's, like, actually very strong. So if I get in trouble, definitely want to hold on to it. This isn't one I just want to burn. I think I'm going to take the projectile speed here, so that way I can bounce between more enemies. Although it looks like, let me pop in here real quick. Is there a bounce... Amount, size, range. No, it doesn't say that there's... Yeah, it doesn't say that there's a bounce on it at all. So it's probably just based on the time that it actually is out there. Oh, nope, don't go that way. Nope. Okay, we're good. We're good. Now what do we want to get? Do we want to go cooldown? We could go direct... No, let's just increase strength of all weapons. There we go. Nice little plasma gun kill there. Let's collect up, make our way to the portal. Oh, we also have 5 dashes on this character. Wow, okay. Wow, but dash recharge is incredibly slow. Was it slow? Was it that slow on every other character? Because holy crap, that's really slow. Yeah, I'm getting chased down here. Let's go. Yeah, just double damage. Sure. Yeah, I'm gonna use my ultimate just so that way those bomber characters don't get too close on me. Collect up here. We've kind of been slacking on our blue crystals here. We're very short. Not going to be able to get a lot at the merchant before the boss. Assuming we get there. Again, I said that last time, and then we just got smoked in the survival round. Plasma gun. Do we want to go for... I mean... I guess we go for knockback. I mean, it's legendary. We take legendaries, right? Victory! Very nice. Let's move on here. Okay, so you can't stand on it first. You have to wait until it actually activates. It doesn't recognize you're on it if you're not... Alright, let's go ahead and... Yeah, I really don't want to do the survival one. I do want to do the mini-boss, but... Yeah, I don't want to do the survival one. Again, just because of time. It's hard. Well, it's hard to say, right? Because the time of these regular fights might still be the same amount of time, but I don't know. It's just the feeling because they've included a timer on it that it just feels longer. You know, like I'm already a third of the way through here, so I actually think that this is just faster. This is just the better way to go. Do we go damn it? No, let's go a mount. Definitely a mount. Yeah, like, especially if there's not a lot of the big guys. These guys die so quickly, which is good. Increase the size, increases drop pickup range. Might as well take the pickup range. The others weren't really that big of an upgrade. Yeah, see, we already cleared this. That had to be way less. That felt like it was, you know, maybe a minute, maybe even less than a minute. Now we got tough fights. Let's go ahead and jump in. Ninja just bobbing and weaving in and out between enemies. We can go for Pierce or increase the duration or just... I mean, we're just going to get 30% strength. We need damage in order to take out the boss for sure. And this might actually be the build to do it just because I can aim both of my weapons. Ooh, there's a nice little magnet pickup. Fantastic. If I can get in there. Gonna have to kite them around here first. Let's go ahead and pop these chests, though, so that way when I get over there, I can actually collect them. Gonna kite them all kind of far away and then make my way back. Come on, pop it open. There we go. There we go. Still not leveling up, though. Still level 14. Almost to 15. Almost to 15. There we go. You want more shuriken? Ooh, no. I'm going to go with plasma gun. The plasma gun is actually really powerful. Yeah, it's just annihilating enemies when it hits them. So, we definitely want to go with that. Alright, so I'm going to try and collect a few more of these blue chests here before we move on. While also not dying to the rest of the enemies that are here. Alright, looks like there's just that one more, so I'm going to go ahead and pop this chest and then go back for him. Where'd he go? Wasn't he, like, right here? Oh, he's way up here now. Okay. Yep, gotta wait for this. Then we can step on it. Very nice. Alright, so what do we have here? This is a loot goblin? Okay, we haven't seen what that is. At least it's not a mine goblin. Mine goblin D's nuts. Defeat enemy. Oh, okay, so I have to defeat him in a certain amount of time in order to get the stuff. Interesting. But I gotta be, like, right on his butt in order to hit him, because my range isn't that good. Oh, but I'm taking damage. Oh, there's contact damage? That's not nice. Okay, well, I kind of have him stuck here. So, yep, we will just take advantage of that. We will take advantage of that. All right, let's make our way back. So, do we get anything, or is it just the meta progression currency? Okay, I guess we just get meta progression currency. That's fine. Now, what do we want here? We got 39. We can go shuriken cooldown. That's not that great. I'd really just want damage. So let's go ahead and grab the shuriken damage. Let's go ahead and grab... do I want max health? Maybe not. I guess I'll just take the... I mean, that's fine. We'll refresh it. Size reduces incoming damage. That's such a small number. That barely even matters. Okay, I think I'm just going to take... Maybe I take projectile speed. Now, let's take the duration. Alright. I have noticed, too... So, I think... Oh, okay, I was going to say, did the Bifrost just leave? There is definitely, I think, a level of polish that could stand to be worked on. Like, the music just... dramatically changing between different scenes. There should be maybe some easing of music, or not necessarily like cutscenes between everything, or loading screens. Definitely not loading screens. But like when we jump in here, we have like this very like chill music, and as soon as we jump in, it's just like hard cut, and it's a little jarring. I would like there to be maybe a little bit more smooth transition between what's going on. And it kind of lends into the same thing I was saying before. You know, the experience bar not being down where all the other health stuff is. Okay, let's see how we can do this here. Actually, before we're probably gonna be. This is probably gonna be the last run we do here. So I'm gonna save kind of my thoughts until after we're good here. I'm gonna try and survive and actually beat this boss here for once. We're actually doing some pretty decent damage here, so this might be the run that we're actually able to make something happen. Oh boy, we're getting chased around here. I'm already out of dashes. Yeah, our dash recharge rate is very slow. Yeah, my health is also very low. Yeah, his health is not really going down all that much. Ah, god dang it, man. Yeah, man. All right. One of the thing yeah, the bosses just feel the same thing happened with the mini boss. I just feel like they have way too much health. Now, maybe I'm just I don't know, maybe I'm just being a little soy boy here and complaining, but it feels like if you're going to have me run around and defeat all these turrets as well and take my attention away from the boss, it can have a lot less health because you're kind of splitting the health pool between the boss and the turrets, because you really can't, like, in my mind, it doesn't seem like you should be just sitting around just face tanking the boss while the turrets are also attacking you. It feels like you need to be taking on the turrets because, at least for my eyes, I couldn't really see the bullets well enough. They weren't like highlighted in a way. They weren't bright colors. They kind of blended into the ground. So they were a little bit hard to actually identify. And they were easily the fastest thing in the game so far. There was nothing. All the other projectiles were pretty slow. And so they were kind of just like thrown at us really quickly. And it was a, mechanic that we hadn't seen. And not that that is necessarily a bad thing, but, I don't know, just kind of threw me off. Now, let's look here at the unlocks here. So the way the unlocks work in the game are basically, it's an there is an achievement-based unlock system. So we leveled Omni Braces to maximum level, which is kind of surprising, to be honest, that we actually got them to max. Again, it's weird that we would get a level to maximum level before even getting a third weapon. That seems a little odd, but we can collect a bunch of these resources here, and that's basically how that works. Defeat Gog the Peckish. So doing different things in the game are going to get you currency, and what can you use those currency for? Well, we come back here into power-ups, and we have a whole bunch here that's basically on an infinite scrolling wheel that goes through a whole bunch of options. And so like the one that I was upgrading before, I was upgrading armor. And basically the way it works is in the middle, as far as I understand, you start in the middle and you start upgrading stuff, and you have these different tiers that raises your armor. As you upgrade it, starting from 12 o'clock and going clockwise, this is going to continually start going around, and you start getting to these different checkpoints, basically. And I've unlocked the more the merrier, which gives more armor for every nearby enemy. But you also have these where it says the power level is too low, which is odd that this is the first one and I still can't unlock it. So let's go ahead and upgrade this. Maybe, so that might be the last one. I think Spike Shield is the last one. It's a little odd that it looks like it's coming out of that. So you see 1 o'clock is basically the first one you can unlock. Now, if we wanted to, we get 0.3% armor for every nearby enemy, so just more armor. Same thing, it's going to keep upgrading. Now, I think these are actually upgrading this. So that's a little bit of a weird UI thing where this keeps upgrading by hitting the upgrade button, but it looks like this is being upgraded by a different... So it's like two different UI ways to explain the same thing. Whereas what you could do is just have... Basically, just have 3 icons here. So you could take, like... For example, just lose the ring. You don't necessarily need the ring. Have the armor in the top, have your 3 abilities below it, and you could just have a ring around the circle here, or some other way to do it, but then have like 1, 2, and 3 of these little dots below it indicating what level it is. It's just kind of like... I don't know. I think for some players, it could be, like, for example, if this is your first Bullet Heaven with your first meta progression system, it could be a little odd seeing 2 different ways of leveling up in the same way. Just my thought, that is something that's completely subjective. There's going to be some players who like this way of showing it. Kind of shows your progression through the whole thing. Again, this is kind of something like... it's similar to like how Deep Rock Galactic Survivor does its meta progression system, where it goes around the circle. The difference is that it doesn't have the center type, which just raises your armor by a flat percentage. We also have things like health regeneration, maximum health, projectile speed. So kind of all the things that we saw in game have their own different meta progression tied to them. And then, of course, there's also going to be the character upgrades. Well, we already came in here. We can also refund them if we wanted to. We already went through the unlocks. We went through the start game. There's going to be different maps here. And, of course, there are the 5 different characters. So just go through them real quick. There's Jake Thorne, the Cosmic Cowboy. We have Sasha, which is basically Conan the Barbarian. We got the Peru'gino, which is the ninja that we tried. That was really sweet. Talyn, and then Phren, who is basically the Cyclops character. Yeah, so I do think that there is a level of polish that's still kind of missing from Defenders of the Omniverse. Like I said, there's we already kind of talked about the UI things in the game, so I'm not going to touch on them too much. In terms of game speed, I think that it needs a little bit of polishing there as well. So like I kind of mentioned, if there are a couple things that I feel like are just holding back the they're holding back the overall game speed, right? So the fact that when I jump into a map, if I'm already holding a directional button to move, I have to re-click it, is just kind of like, sure, you're talking about a fraction of a second where you have to do that, but it's just kind of like, maybe just have it so that the player automatically moves if they're already holding a button. So anytime they go back into gameplay, their buttons that they're pressing are already being acknowledged. Level up felt a little bit slow, especially getting towards the end of that first stage. It just felt like the levels weren't coming quite fast enough, and especially with the weapons themselves. So I've tried, how many weapons did I try? I tried the hammer, tried the phoenix egg, tried the cards, I tried the plasma shooter, and was that it? No, we tried the spiders too. And then what did we have on Talyn? On Talyn we had, what do we have there? Oh, we had the cards. Okay, so I tried 5 different weapons, and honestly, I wasn't really blown away by any of them. Well, the best one was definitely the plasma shooter, but the other ones were just kind of like subpar. And maybe they get better when you have multiple weapons. And to be fair, like, we didn't even make it past the first boss, but I already talked about my gripes with the boss. But yeah, they just kind of felt a little underwhelming, and not because there's no, well, there's no auto target anyway for your main weapon. But I don't know. To me, they were a little bit underwhelming. I know that they're basically similar weapons to weapons we've seen in other Bullet Heavens, but I think I was just a little bit held back by, I don't know, by it was just like overall game speed felt a little bit too slow, right? Cooldowns to me felt a little bit too long. Enemies, like, the movement itself felt a little slow, which is, again, a stylistic thing that I know a couple other Bullet Heavens that I've tried in the past off camera do. But then you have, what was the other game speed I was just going to bring up? Shoot. Oh, right. So you have the map zones where you fight. Those go very quick. But again, at the end of the round, I feel like enemies should just be coming full whatever your max percentage of enemies coming at you is. It should just be like either that the whole time, or have different waves of enemies come up, rather than just enemies disappearing as you get closer to 100%, because the enemies themselves don't appear on your minimap. So there were multiple times where I kind of lost track of the last enemy, and it slowed down the whole feeling of the game because I was just looking for him and I couldn't find him. Same thing with Survive. I think Survive, the time might be a little bit too long. I think 2:15 might be fine if you're on the second stage or third stage once you get more weapons. But 2 minutes and 15 seconds is just, it's a very long time to slow the game down for just one stage. Again, where I would have to go back and actually time how long it took us to complete the fight level, but I mean, it felt like it couldn't have been more than 45 seconds to a minute. And so you're talking double the time for one stage. Sure, you're going to get, I mean, I guess to be fair, you're going to get a lot more experience that time, but maybe you could outbalance that by just giving either more experience or just finding a different way to upgrade a little bit faster than having, you know, you stay on the map for 2 minutes and 15 seconds. But other than that, like, the style of the game is really cool. The music was cool, but again, there were those like kind of herky-jerky moments between basically changing either zones or jumping in between menus. That music was just kind of cutting and not really fading in and out. I mean, is that a game-breaking thing that's going to completely ruin your enjoyment of the game? No, of course not. But it's just like these small little touches that I look at, and it's those little things that, you know, on a day-to-day, some of you guys might already know, I've mentioned in a couple of videos, like, I'm a commercial producer for my day job, and it's little things like that we take into consideration that are going to either, you know, distract people from what's actually important to be focusing on, and you don't want the things that are not overall important to the message that you're trying to tell people. You don't want that to take them out of the experience in any way, and that can translate to a million different things. So I'm kind of using that same logic here, in that it kind of, made me feel like that little bit of disjointed feeling from going to merchant to going back to map to going into the merchant store, coming back out. It all kind of didn't feel like it was part of the same experience. It felt like it was clearly, okay, now you're in a different window. Now you're in the merchant world. Now you're in the overworld. Now you're jumping back in. And there was no like cohesion there, really. I want to feel a little bit more tightening of the screws to actually get that in. Overall, I think Defenders of the Omniverse is a decent game. I would definitely like to see the overall pace of the game, even the weapon speed, like the projectile speed felt a little bit slow. Just overall game speed, just dialed up maybe like, you know, 2, 3, 4 points on a 10-point scale. And I think it would be a lot more exciting, a lot more attention grabbing, because the art style is definitely there. You know, that the like revitalized 80s comic book look is something that I really enjoy. I grew up like watching these shows on, you know, Toonami late nights at my grandparents' house because I didn't have cable, but getting to watch Toonami and late night Cartoon Network there brings back a lot of nostalgia for me. So guys, what did you think of Defenders of the Omniverse? Let me know down below in the comments section. If you do want to check out the game for yourself, the game will be dropping on Steam on August 26th. So you can go to the Steam page, which will of course be down in the description as always. You can go ahead and wishlist it, follow it, and make sure that if you want to check it out, you know exactly the day that it drops. But if you did like the video and you enjoyed yourself, go ahead and smash that like button for me and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Here we play all kinds of roguelikes, roguelites, deck and dice builders, tactical strategy games, auto battlers, bullet heavens, action roguelites, so much more. Trust me, guys, eventually I'm going to shrink down this outro. It's just, there's a lot there. But guys, I've been Ganyonz. Thank you so much for watching today. I'm going to see you all, guys. I'm going to see all you guys. Yep, that's how you say words. In the next one. See ya.